Hello, everybody. Welcome to the watch along. Finally got the Blackadder going here. That's what I wanted to do for a while, along with Faulty Towers and Red Dwarf and some other comedy series. This is one of my favorites, and I'm glad to be starting. And I was just gonna start with the first, but I decided to go to start in with the second, and I'm gonna bring on the problem being.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for being
Hello.
here.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because a lot of people sort of imagine, when they imagine Blackadder, they kind of sort of forget or ignore the first season because it was so different to the others, and obviously it's because it lacks the sharp, sarcastic wit of Ben Elton, who came on board at the writing team to give it a kick up the bum, and thank God it did. It's just a magic writing team, really.
And Edmund's more of a he's more of a passive,
simpering idiot,
player, and Baldrick's actually more the
smart one, which is strange, because if you actually look at the original unaired pilot, it's much more like Blackadder the Second, or Blackadder 2. And it's uncanny. I just and it had a different Baldrick as well, which
I'm glad they made some casting changes.
Yeah.
The first, I saw that you sent the pilot. I saw the pilot. I did watch that, and I saw that the first 10 minutes, I was kind of like, this isn't really that grabbing me that much, but it picked up as it went on. But they definitely tweaked it and fine-tuned things and stuff, and made it a lot better.
Yeah. It just works. And a few years ago, Blackadder was voted Britain's funniest comedy show of all time, beating Faulty Towers and Only Fools and Horses. So it's definitely one up there with the best of British, I think. Certainly one of the best comedies in the world. Not as big in America as Mr. Bean, which surprises me, really, because I always think, oh God, like it's nice that Rowan Atkinson made a name for himself in America with Mr. Bean, but I just think they're missing his, because I mean it's very visual gags, it's very slapstick, and he doesn't say anything really, but apart from mumbling the odd thing, but it's missing his genius of line delivery, and his cutting tongue. He has such a cutting, and his delivery is just, I mean, there's only sort of very, very small number of comic actors who can deliver lines like that, and that's John Cleese and Rowan Atkinson, frankly, and it's just absolutely delicious to watch, because he's so sure of every utterance, and every word comes out. You can imagine it is a bit like a spitting adder, just sort of poisoning the well with this wonderful character.
It's gonna be the black vegetable.
Black vegetable. Yeah, that's from the first series.
Then Baldrick's like, well, wouldn't it be better if Blackadder? And no, wait, I have a better idea.
Yeah.
But I like Mr. Bean too. But this Blackadder is just brilliant. Like you said, the writing and his delivery and everything's just great. Like I said, I love this up there with Faulty and
definitely. I mean, it's. I mean, a lot of people might criticize it for being just too sarcastic, because and people say sarcasm is the lowest form of wit. I don't think so. I think sarcasm done well in the case of Blackadder is exceptionally quick-witted and sharp, and cut it. I mean, it's so cutting. I mean, he could just absolutely whittle you down to size with just a turn of a phrase. And it's, I think sarcasm is a sort of very observationalist kind of humor, because you're in the moment and you're sardonically sort of picking apart someone's sort of self-esteem. Really, I think you just, because you could just pop a bubble of somebody's ego instantly with this.
And again, like a lot of these old series, would you get away with it today? I mean, could you make something like that today?
I think it could be made today. Would it be as good? I think certainly it'd have to be made with Rowan Atkinson. You know, the original cast. You couldn't do it any other way. When you look at when they did the time travel ones, the Millennium celebrations,
back and forth,
wasn't great. It wasn't great, and I think at a certain age in the life of certain writers and certain performers, they lose their edge. I think it's something that, particularly when you're younger, you have a certain energy to it behind the words and a certain speed to it, and I think you sort of mellow as you get older. Not always, but very often is the case. As for the audience, well, and that's something else. Would a modern full-on woke audience get Blackadder and like it? I don't know. I really don't. I really worry about that. It's a good question.
There'll still be a certain segment like us who would still appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it will be a guilty pleasure for a lot of people. But I just think it's too clever for, and it takes so much fun out of po-faced people. And you know, the modern audience generally are quite po-faced and far too earnest and take themselves far too seriously. And someone like Blackadder just comes along and pops that bubble with just a flick of the tongue, you know, really. And I don't think these people can handle it, frankly. And that's for the subject matter. You know, I think they'd be like, oh, you know, it's so classist, and you know, it's mocking the working class, and you know, it's racist and it's imperialist, and it's, you know, even though it's making fun out of the upper classes, really, you know, I just think these things get lost in translation today. I'm not saying that everyone of a certain age today is a moron, but there's an exceptionally good case to be made for the fact that there are many.
Well, they've been conditioned from a very young age these days to have a certain view on things.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the output of BBC comedy in particular, it's 40% less BBC comedy than ever in the history of the BBC before. That's 40% less comedy from the BBC because they're too afraid that they're going to offend someone.
That's sad too. I mean,
and that's not good. That's really not good.
Yeah.
So could Blackadder be made today? It certainly wouldn't get commissioned today. Let's put it that way. If it was a brand new comedy, which is sad. It's so sad. So many people are missing out. You know, I mean, recently they replayed Blackadder on BBC, which on BBC One at prime time for the first time in decades, and people responded very well to it. You know, on Twitter, I think there's a lot of people who probably didn't. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, the usual suspects.
Yeah, you know, because it's problematic. It's got problematic language and problematic stereotypes, and you know, yeah, but it would be nice if the BBC did that with Blackadder as well, because, you know, it has been voted the most popular comedy of all time, even beyond Fawlty Towers, which I never thought I'd ever see the day. But like, if any comedy comes close, I suppose it would be Blackadder. There are a few modern-ish ones, like in the last 20 years or so, which also rank up there with those that I would say were exceptional, which I would say shows like Green Wing, Spaced, Jam, Brass Eye, but they're sort of kind of sketch shows really. And what else? Green Wing. Black Books, that's another classic one.
I like Young Ones, but that's kind of.
Well, I grew up with the Young Ones, you know, watching it as a I don't know, I must have been about. Well, I must have been under 10, so I must have been like 7 or 8 or something when that was on, and just absolutely loving its anarchic humor, and I think it was the silliest thing ever. You know, I watched Monty Python as a very young kid. You know, not supposed to, but I did anyway, and fell in love with all of that. You know, it's very naughty, and you know, you had women with boobs, and you know, it's very naughty, and it was not really for my age group, but I caught it on TV, and you know, I just fell in love with it.
Flying circus.
For me, I mean, you know, I'm just so grateful to have been raised in a country that produces arguably the best comedy in the world, and you know, I think it's subjective, but I think it is. I mean, I love Cheers. I love a lot of American comedies. I love The Nanny. I love The Nanny.
I was just gonna say there was a lot of good American comedies, but I still like Fawlty Towers and Blackadder. That's just like, for me, that's the pinnacle. That's
yeah. I think the difference between American comedy and British comedy is very, very simple. American comedy is a laugh every minute. You know, or a laugh every few seconds, right? It's boom, boom, next gag, next gag, next gag. But in Britain, they build up the gags, right? There's a big build up, and it sort of builds and builds and builds, but it's a slow burn. And then you sort of get the chuckles coming in, and then the big payoff. And that's the genius of British comedy. I think you have 1 or 2 writers, not like 15 writers in a room, you know, like 1 or 2 writers who put this together, and they craft it in such a way it just builds, so you give room for jokes to breathe. But I think that's the big major difference there, I think.
And you got catchphrases that carry over from series to series. It's like I have a cunning plan.
That's right. I mean, Monty Python kind of mocked all that. He kind of tried to undo it. And if you look at a lot of the new wave comedy in the early 80s, they did try and sort of break from the traditions of having the particular punchline or the particular phrases that you could be repeated. You know,
when you had like "Are you being served?" It was like, "Are you free, Mr. Humphrey?"
Yeah, exactly. So you had a lot of that, and there's the new wave comedy of the early 80s sort of tried to undo all that, and then that became the mainstream. But yeah, you know, things like Black. I don't think they intended to create these sort of catchphrases, but they sort of fell into that somewhat as the series went on with like the cunning plan and all that. But you know, if it works, it works. You know, I mean,
well, yeah, you can excuse them for doing that, and you look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, and when you get it, and because things like the cunning plan, we think that he said that an awful lot. He didn't until Blackadder goes forth, where it sort of became more regular, because it was expected at that point. But it was done sort of by drips throughout the second and third series. I can't remember if he did in the first one, probably. But it was far and few between, but it sort of built. And then when you got it, it was like, yes, he said it, you know.
I have a cunning plan.
Yes. A great character. I mean, the energy between those two is exceptional. It's exquisite to watch because they are so poles apart, but they're both comic geniuses, you know. And the it's just a perfect storm of perfect writers, perfect setups, perfect casting, and just delivered. Yeah.
And Elton, he worked on Young Ones too, didn't
he? Yes, he did. Yeah. He was also
and you got
a host.
crossovers between Blackadder and Young Ones actors too.
Well, yeah, because you had that sort of you had that sort of Brat Pack kind of thing of the alternative comedy. Yeah, like
group of friends,
French
and we'll get
Saunders.
You want to do my show?
Yeah. So you'd always have these sort of little guest spots and things on there, and Miranda Richardson, just perfect casting as Queenie. Stephen Fry is a good foil, and of course you have Lord Flashheart. Just goodness me, what a loss to comedy when you go. Yeah, Rick Merrill is just a god, god of comedy. One of the nicest people apparently as well, and he obviously had a great hits as well. Alan Bastard in the English Statesman, and Bottom. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're just like it's a
who's who.
choice. Yeah. It's just wonderful. And of course we have Tom Baker guest appearing in an episode. He was actually told to tone it down by Rowan Atkinson. He wanted him to deliver the lines. I think because his ego was like he wanted to be the funniest man in the room, but you can't bottle Tom Baker. You keep the lid on, right? So he underplayed it in the rehearsals, but when they went to record it, he just went full on Tom Baker, and he got the laughs.
Woman's hands.
He got the laughs, and I think that kind of pissed off Rowan Atkinson somewhat. But it's a classic, he did it absolutely perfectly. He knew. Tom Baker always knows. So, yeah. So that's interesting. I find that was a little eye opener from Tom when he told us about that story. That was great.
Well, shall we get underway now? Because we got another one coming up.
Yes. Do this thing.
Good please. We're going to start out with bells, and anybody watching in the future now, queue up your second series, first episode, bells, and if you're ready, Lee, give us a countdown from 5, and we'll get things started.
Sure thing. Okay, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play. I love this music.
With the black and white checkerboard.
It's a beautiful melody, actually. Got this very sort of jaunty, happy thing, and it's got a nice little sad.
And they slightly alter it is from season to season.
Very sort of minor note there. I love that. Bells.
This is great.
I can be silent no longer.
It's Bob.
See, as you know, this is pretty much what happened.
This is one of those things that would be problematic today.
No, it isn't. It's a very Python line. The nose is pretty.
You can work from home.
Straight away, you just get the dynamic straight away.
Lord Percy.
Bury me in a Y-shaped coffin, Harry. I did. So did Border guys.
Poor Baldric.
Extraordinary.
Lucky Willie. Boy. It's like how she thinks boys act.
Yeah.
How would he think she's a boy?
I know. Bob.
I saw him rowing on an American talk show or something once. He was talking about how he just thought certain names were funny. Like he said, like Bob.
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 Bob. He's got these little rubbery lips, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mm. I'm so utterly sick of this.
Yeah. He shaved already.
Mm. Kidder is so good.
Mrs. Miggins.
Yeah, but, we never see until the third series. I used to stay up late night, late watching this as well. I think when it was on. Well, it was on TV as a kid, and I watched it and I loved it. I used to get so excited. Lepers.
That's problematic. I like the rouge on her cheeks.
You like what?
The rouge on her cheeks.
Oh god, yeah. love Nanny.
Nursey. Tumpkin.
It's a miracle.
Where goes the girl?
I was really disappointed. This is funny. I love this montage. It's like one of those sort of TV adverts for like these greatest hits.
Green sleeves.
Yeah. It's so silly. Green sleeves. The rain, it raineth every day. Hey, Nonny, I love you. My love is like a prick on a Tudor rose. Hot sex madrigal in the middle of my tights. And many, many more.
Jeez. Yanni.
Bob. Toxic masculinity. Chum.
Rumpy pumpy.
Back ticklers. I love this bit. Bob. Oh God. Leeches.
Yeah, they're cure for everything.
Yeah. So that wouldn't pass today.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I will be.
Problematic. more toddy for the rest of us.
Every incidental character in this is brilliant.
Thing is, that's kind of accurate with the leeches.
Of leeches. It's not the Dark Ages. And then they'll ducky goodbye. Oh, I love the wise woman. That it be. Yes, it is. Not that it be. I'm not a tourist. The wise woman. A wise woman. She is a woman. She is wise.
Of course.
Which I'm not going to give to you. It's so Shakespearean. I love it. Sleep with him if I were you.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
Welcome.
We're at 1635. The wise woman. Kill Bob. Kill yourself. Ever knows. Kill everyone in the whole world. Uh-huh.
The wise woman. Scores. Yeah, Sherry, I do too.
Then chum.
You might be.
You hear the Velcro. His belly button 6 hours, haven't you? Aha. 2 minutes later.
Would I?
Kiss me, Kate. Oh. It's a very cultural joke.
The Kiss Me Kate.
Mm. Girls are normally called Elizabeth. Nursing, not nanny.
They're trying to make the make the queen like she's a twit or something.
I love it. Bernard. I love Queenie's face. Did you actually? As pretty as mine.
No.
Oh, they get it up.
Oh, this is. Imagine when she got a cow.
Yuck! Face. It's just,
her expression's great.
I know. It's like a smart little brat. I just love it. Shut up, Bernard. Paul Trick is a prize, mate. He's loving it.
God.
Dung ball in a dress. That wouldn't fly today, would it?
Hello.
God, he's so stupid. I love it. God.
Podrick.
Podrick, that's a pretty name. What? All right.
That's another theme this whole series. Percy's always seeking Blackadder's approval.
Yeah, yeah. He sees him as his best friend. It's the only one who probably tolerates him.
What's his cousin, right?
And he bet he does.
Flashheart.
Vagrant. Oh no.
He does remind me of a Monty Python character.
Skid Squiffy introduce someone. Mhm. Be the best. Just choose the scenery. And notice his moustache keeps trying to fall off.
Yeah. It's
How's that?
barely attached.
Light the beer. Gives me something to hang on to.
I think Rowan's laughing.
Mm. Yeah. Try so hard not to laugh.
What's your name, God?
Earliest.
His mustache falling off. From Fruity.
Canoe in my pocket. I do. Oh, I love it. The lyrics change every episode.
Yeah. Dingle.
Dingle. You're sexy, oh my God. Brilliant. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Awesome.
what an opener as well. I mean, like, just when Lord Flashheart shows up, I mean, you can hear the studio audience just absolutely losing control. I love it. Absolutely the best.
So, like, move right into the next one.
Yes. Let's do that thing. Okay.
I think
So,
we lost our one viewer.
Oh. Well, episode 2, Head. Very saucy title. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, press play.
Real snake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we are with the math lessons.
Yeah, I love this. 2 beans, and then I add 2 more beans. Some beans.
Gee. He's got his beard back. Makes me think they changed the running order of these. I think it's so important, my lord. The Book of Death. Jesus. Big ass book. Ponsonby. Never will. Brain and knowledge.
Fashionable brain in London.
Love the staff.
Yeah, Mr. Ploppy. Mr. and Mrs. Plop. No, yeah, it's Mr. and Mrs. Ploppy, but not related. Maniac.
Ploppy, sir.
Ploppy the tail. Son of Ploppy. Ploppy the slobber. Fascinating skin diseases. Here it will come off. You are. She's been a TV series about a witch, which I used to love. Mr. Ploppy. Fly by. Get on with it.
Trying to imitate Edmund.
Yeah. No authority at all.
No respect.
Horrid traitor.
Oh, jeez. Shut up, Darcy. Do they give her a lisp? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure they will.
Oh dear. Life might have bloody well turned up. Team. Oh.
Harassment. That's problematic.
Yep. Uh-huh. You never want to back.
Cunning.
Mhm. The definite Basil Fawlty and Manuel relationship. This is so silly. Gloater.
Is that purposely over the top? It's like, right. Mr. Cock up.
Mr. Cock up. Correct. Come in. Oh, enter that. Huh. Baldrick! Baldrick!
And the title. Head. No, wait.
You utter bastard. From Mr. Cock up. Squeak.
Anyway. Gallop, gallop. It's it's you.
It's you.
she she plays her like so childlike. It's like,
Yeah. Nursey's face. I just love this bit. I love this bit.
Nurse's face is just like oblivious. He's got a head in his back of the pants.
Whipple, people. A little kick. Your majestic thing.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I wonder who played the minstrel, if it's Tony Robinson or not.
No. John Lloyd, producer.
Hey. Fantastic.
Yeah. First two in the books. Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
Well, I had
so
fun.
Good. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. It's always a delight. Yeah, I did a rewatch of this not that long ago, but it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. It's still funny. You still laugh. That's what I love about it, you know.
Yeah, and three's along the same lines, and then four's some serious stuff in it, but with the war stuff, but it's also good.
Yeah, it keeps its consistency. I remember when I was watching, you know, I fell in love with Blackadder second, and then I heard it was coming back. I was all excited, and then it came back as Blackadder third. I was really upset it wasn't with Queenie, and I was like, oh, you know, it's not the same. But it was still great, and now I think it's probably my favourite out of the four series. I think Blackadder third is just sheer delight from start to finish, and Blackadder goes fourth. I remember being the same sort of, you know, I was a kid, so it's, you know, I was kind of like, no, it's not the same. But again, it made you laugh, and it's you know, all of them are consistently brilliant.
Well, Hugh Laurie in the next series is freaking hot.
Oh, he's wonderful. He's wonderful, and you know, a lot of Americans just know him from House and as a sort of serious actor, but he was always a comedy actor.
Well, yeah, I knew him from this before I knew from
House. I suppose there will be some who do, but yeah, I think, you know, it's a shame that Blackadder isn't as widely known in America. It doesn't appear to me to be. But it should be. Damn well should be. I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, why is Mr. Bean more popular in America than Blackadder? It just seems absolutely. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's. I don't know. To say it's probably two bridges wouldn't make sense, because, you know, America loved Monty Python, loved you know, the young ones and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's strange to me.
Like I said, I like both, but this is more, I guess, cerebral.
Yeah, definitely. It's very intelligently written. But, you know, this is the wonderful thing that sort of modern idiots today don't appreciate. You know, like, yes, it's a bunch of white sort of Oxbridge class people writing and performing these things, but
yeah, but who cares? It's brilliant.
That's the thing, you know. It's like, why does that matter? You know, because it's elitist, because it's racist. No, it's because they're funny, right? They're educated, they're intelligent, and they're witty, and there's nothing wrong with that. And to say that there's something wrong with that, there's something wrong with you. You know, it's sort of the age of envy, isn't it? I think it's everyone has to look down their noses at people who strive to do better, you know, and it's comedy that suffers, because when you have lowbrow woke comedy, it's not funny, you know, because they take themselves way too seriously. But the thing is, with people like from the Oxbridge, they always poke fun at authority more than the working class or anything like that. You know, I mean, there are all comedy in Britain is based on class anyway, but they do it with such reverence. And it's not so utterly self-aware, you know, they just poke fun at everything, you know, especially the establishment, you know, and that's the thing, you know, they were more anarchic because they came from that that sphere, you know, they were expected to be lawyers or something like that, you know, but they they rejected it. I like that. I like that. It's anarchic.
Yeah, if there's something we can use today, it's something that gives you actual outward belly laughs like this, like Faulty Towers and this and
yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, it, you can't argue that this kind of comedy. You just don't get that anymore. You don't, and that's such a loss. You know, I mean, I'm just worried that, you know, with a generation of comedy missing, that it's going to be an art form that's lost. You know, and I thank God we've got all this on, you know, available,
archived.
Yeah, otherwise it would just be lost forever. You know, like certain industries were lost during the Industrial Revolution. You know, you'll never get back. But at least we have a record of it, and it's there, hopefully unchanged forever, and available, hopefully. Unless everything gets far too puritanical, it all gets burned. But I really hope that it will draw inspiration down the line, and then there'll be a renaissance of wonderful British comedy again.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get banned or censored on certain platforms. Like
the argument for physical media. You know.
Yeah, before, or I hope they don't change the actual physical media to edit out certain things or whatever. But
well, I mean, you know, then each episode would be like 5 minutes long, you know.
And I'm just glad I got my copies. But
I mean, Puritans editing comedy is just not what you want, really. It really isn't. Like the last. I mean,
they're already putting warnings on some stuff. It's like,
yeah. Look, I can just about handle that, but it does make my eyes roll that people are just treating.
That's my line. If they want to put warnings, put your warnings, but don't censor it or change it.
I just think it's so infantilizing the audience. You know, it's like treating the audience as if they can't handle anything. Like they're not adults, for crying out loud. I'm sorry, if you're not an adult, maybe you shouldn't be watching it. And if you can't handle it, maybe you're not an adult yet. You know, you might be in your 20s, but if you're finding the offense at just about everything, then maybe you've got a lot more growing up to do. You know, comedy should not be designated safe or unsafe by people who have no idea what comedy is. It's like, you stay in your lane, leave the rest to us adults to watch. You know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, but you know, there are people, you know, who do, you know, of this generation, like Jack Maine, who appreciate it and love it, you know. And I suppose it's an act of rebellion these days because it's subversive to the current mode of thinking today, and I think that's heartening. You know, I just worry that. I think there will be a backlash to all of this anyway. I think, you know, the generations are coming. So. They'll have woke parents, and they'll be like eye rolling. You know, like, oh, you know, you didn't use my pronoun today. Just shut up, mum.
Well, I'm ancient, but I've always liked this type of stuff from, you know, when I was, you know, 10 years old or whatever. So I can't explain why. I just have. And
well, that's it. You know, I mean, you know, you and I were raised in a way that, you know, we were exposed to a lot of this comedy when we were very young, and so we're kind of immune to taking offense, you know. And I think when you inhibit people, where people are not exposed to these things, particularly at a younger age, they're closeted and they don't understand it. So what they don't understand, they hate. You know, it's just this irrational fear that develops, or hatred and it's based in ignorance and bigotry, really, because, you know, if your mind is so closed that you can't handle adult themes, and, you know, maybe they'll tasteless joke or whatever, you're not really exposed to it. It's kind of like you build up an immunity, but well, we've built up an immunity to certain things, but they haven't. They've got no inoculation against things that they're scared of, because it's kind of like a weird woke superstition, isn't it, really?
But,
very irrational.
Well, I have a, like a conservative Christian background, and Seth MacFarlane is, with his Family Guy, he pokes a lot of fun at
He pokes fun at everyone.
At that,
but
particular,
everyone's game.
I'm not like freaking out and calling to ban Seth MacFarlane. I actually think some of his jokes on our particular group or whatever is funny, but
well, I was raised by a Catholic and a Church of England, so and in the end I rejected it both, and being an homosexual as well, growing up there were a lot of stereotypes on TV. You had Are You Being Served and Mr. Humphreys and all that stuff, but I used to love all that, and I just think if you can't laugh at yourself, what can you laugh at? I think that this is the problem with current age, is that people are take themselves far too seriously, far too earnest, and they can't handle anyone making fun of them. And my ethos is, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? And I think that's a very important lesson that people have forgotten. They need to be able to take themselves far less seriously than they do, and they will be happier for it, because then they become immune, and therefore they can start relaxing. And I think that's also something you learn as you get older. I think that people in their 20s generally are more they're self-conscious and easily offended, because they take things very seriously. As you sort of reach middle age, you start relaxing in yourself. I think you start laughing at your own foibles. You don't take life as seriously as you once did, and I think that's just something that comes with age, particularly. But well, it helps if you watch something like Blackadder when you're like a kid. Definitely.
If you've ever seen any of the reaction videos on YouTube, like some of the ones that are reacting to comedy stuff, like classic stuff, like Carlin or people like that, some of them are just like freaking out, like, "Oh, I can't believe that they said what they did about certain." It's like, well, Carlin wasn't exactly. I mean, he was a lefty, but he also kind of called things on environmental wackos and stuff like that.
It was a classic liberal, like
that,
and a cynic.
That would,
yeah.
I mean, that would describe him.
Yeah, I think you can have all that, but I think because the Overton window shifted somewhat rather radically, the new liberals are probably a little bit more on the right than they used to be, because the left used to be the anti-establishment, but now they are the establishment. So you find that shift happens, and I always grew up very left. I was a socialist at one point. I was very on the left, but also very liberally minded in the classic sense of being a liberal. And then all of a sudden, very quickly, in the last few years, it changed so radically. I didn't recognize anything on the left anymore, because it becomes so extreme and so caught up in this fantastical subjective reality, which is patently nonsense. Like, anyone with a thinking brain can't surely be subsumed into something that is so objectively, fundamentally, and provably demonstrably false. And when it takes it, and it's taken itself so seriously and earnestly, and you're like, you can't take a joke either. And that to me is a big alarm bell. It's like the minute it used to be like people on the right, the conservatives, the Christian right, and all the rest of it, you couldn't take a joke. Now it's on the left, and I find people on the centre and on the right have a little bit more humor about things, and certainly self-deprecation as well. And maybe that came from years of being lampooned by the left, and it's kind of flipped polarity, I guess. I don't know, but it's interesting. And I've always been very anti-authoritarian. I've always been very guarded against sort of fascist ideologies or groupthink, and I don't think I've particularly changed, but I think the Overton window has shifted so much that, you know, whilst I've stood still, I found that I've been moved without any sort of say in the matter, you know. But it's just a case, I think, like with Carlin, is that you'll call out the bullshit no matter which side it's from, you know, if it's on the right, if it's on the left, if it's authoritarian, if it's tyrannical, if it's po-faced, if it seeks erasure of things, if it seeks to control, if it seeks to control language, thought, if it can't laugh at itself, then, you know, if you don't want to sort of be in that bracket, you know. And I think people like Carlin, Bill Hicks, people like that would agree. I think that they would be appalled that the very sort of political bent that they had at the time had changed so radically into something that it's not, that they would have definitely found themselves in a similar predicament. If Carlin were alive today, if Bill Hicks were alive today, they would definitely be raging against the woke culture, and they would be calling this shit out.
Yeah, what the left, so-called left in the past would consider centralist, or, you know, not one way or another, they're calling far right now. It seems like.
Well, you had that Seth, what's his face, with this new Santa. Yeah, Seth Rogen calling anyone criticizing his Christmas film,
him and Sarah Silverman,
white supremacists. And like, is this Hollywood's new advertising like campaign idea? Yeah. It's stupid. I
can't see that going down well.
Yeah, I'm like, are you just thinking this thing on purpose? Are you just making these things to troll people? It seems to me, and it's so disingenuous. And I just find this kind of language so deceitful. I'm like, why would anyone want to align with someone who's patently lying through their ass, calling people white supremacists because they didn't like your movie? Because it's woke as tits, and people are awake to the woke, you know. And it's like, they're not going to be hoodwinked by your propaganda anymore.
There's nothing wrong with being Jewish, but they're both Jewish and they don't celebrate Christmas anyhow. So
yeah, I mean, Rabbi from Another Planet, Zvi Lebetkin, loves Christmas, but he's a Jew, you know. But he loves Christmas, but he respects.
That's the big difference.
You know? Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm born of the tribe on my mother's side, so, you know, technically I am Jewish, but you know, I've been estranged from it because of what happened in, you know, the 1930s in Germany, you know. So I mean, you know, a lot of people were sort of discombobulated from that that culture, even though they are, you know, bloodline Jew. So that happened with me, and it happened with many millions of us. But it was, you know, I mean, poking fun at Christianity is something the left has done for years, and I think it was an important thing. Actually, I think it was good that happened, because I think it did reform a few things, because it was very authoritarian. It was very stuck in the dark ages in a lot of ways, but it sort of,
the Inquisition.
I think if something is so powerful and you can't criticize it, I think that's a bad thing. So I think, you know, if you look at the alternative comedy in the 80s, if you look at the, you know, the way that Monty Python did digs, you know, at Christianity, Dave Allen, another one, it was important. It kind of deflated the pomposity of it. But when it becomes so easy pickings like it is nowadays, it's like an eye roll. I just, you know, I think it's like, okay, the joke's one thing. It's like funny, you never see these people making jokes about Islam.
No.
you know, or Jews. It's like South Park or Drawn Together or something. But yeah, I just think it's very select. It's slim pickings at this point.
It's the one group it's still okay to make fun of that nobody gets offended about, and even.
But that says a lot more about Christians than it does about anything. It says more about how Christians are turn the other cheek than it is about Islamists who will probably cut your head off.
Make a drawing and they'll kill you.
Yeah, I think the fact that you can make jokes about Christianity and not have anything bad happen to you proves to me that Christian dudes are a good bunch of people. The fact that you can't criticize certain other religions says more about that group. Not all of them, obviously, but you know, certain element. You know, I mean, we've seen what happens if you make a cartoon.
Not all.
Yeah, not all. As Robert Anton Wilson would say, some but all. And I think there is an element of if you peel away the onion layers, you know, you do actually have more of a profound respect for Christians. And I, you know, growing up an homosexual, obviously there's always been a friction there between Christian beliefs and my lifestyle, as they call it. I don't like lifestyle as a phrase, but anyway. But I've had very long, interesting conversations with Christians, you know, and then dropped in what I was, and you know, by then I was already engaged in a very highfalutin intellectual conversation about stuff. So it was something about something, and it was very interesting. And they were completely shocked. I had no idea. I was like, well, you know, I don't flounce about, you know. But there was a certain respect, and I think that's the thing, you know, just communication, talking. Presenting things in a way that sort of subvert your expectations for a Star Wars analogy. And I you know, I think better understanding happens through conversation, and sometimes people just aren't willing to have those conversations, and I think that's a mistake. And I think comedy is a way of forcing sort of certain conversations in a way, culturally, you know. Just shifts and I think that's somewhat and that's missing now. And the things with comics, comedians, comedy shows was to hold a mirror to the absurdity of modern life, even if it's set in medieval times or whatever. You know, it's there to throw a mirror to modern life and its foibles. And if you haven't got that mirror holding up to your face, like Dave Chappelle has been doing, you know, there's no doubt anymore, and people without doubt are very dangerous. You know, because there's nothing to stop them, right? There's no double, you know, thinking about, well, you know, maybe what I'm doing is insane, you know.
Yeah, Chappelle seems to be the one holdout that's not going to give in to the.
Yeah, I mean, at times like this, I really wish to God we had people like Carlin and Bill Hicks around. Because they were, you know, prophets in a way. You know, they philosophers. I think that was the thing. They were intelligent philosophers and prophets in times where prophets and philosophers are frowned upon. But you deliver it in a stand-up comedy routine, and it's like entertainment, but it's not. It really isn't. It's philosophy. It's philosophy. It's theology. It's prophecy, because they show you where you're going as well, you know, where things are heading, and that is something we are lacking so much. And people like Dave Chappelle, not my favorite comedian. I did watch his special that has been controversial of late, and he was absolutely spot on, and not about everything. He did poke fun at the Jews, you know, the whites, the gays, you know, I'm all of those things, you know, and I still laughed, you know, but God, you know, it's funny that, you know, the stuff about the tea was the focus. You never see anyone from that community saying, well, they also poked fun at women. He also poked fun at the Jews. They don't even mention that. They don't care. It's because because they can't take a joke. Not all of them, some but all.
Well, Carlin was pretty anti-Christian, and he bashed him on a lot of his routines and stuff. But
You know,
I still
dyed-in-the-wool
find
atheist, you know.
I still find him funny.
Yeah.
It's even though some of that be kind of offensive or whatever to me.
Well, again, I go back to what I say. If you can't laugh at yourself,
But
and that includes your beliefs, what can you laugh at? You can't laugh at anyone else, can you? Because
But,
that would be
you know,
hypocrisy.
still, I find him funny, and I wouldn't do anything. Wouldn't have been on any kind of cancel Carlin type thing, because
You have two choices when you're dealing with a stand-up comedian, right? Because the comedian tells the truth, and truth hurts, or truth is funny, and you have to pick which one. And I think it's important to pick the one that doesn't hurt so much, you know. Like, I mean, you can hurt yourself laughing, but I mean, that's probably better than taking offense, you know, which is a choice. Taking offense is a choice. You have a choice. It's an intelligent choice, right? And if your emotional side overrides your intellectual side, then you're losing that ability to.
What is it they say? Is taken, not given, or
yeah. If it's offered, you know, it wasn't. That's it. Like offense was not offered, you know, or something. Something. But I just think that, you know, if you're going to expose yourself to other ideas, if you can't handle that, maybe you're the bigot. You know, it's very easy to throw terms around like bigot and stuff, but you know, the definition of bigot is someone who is unwilling to entertain anyone else's opinion other than your own. So really, you know, if you're not willing to face criticism in your beliefs, then maybe your beliefs are a bit too fragile, and maybe they're not based on much. So you have to kind of challenge yourself, and I think comedy is a great way of challenging yourself in a way that can be extremely liberating or extremely crushing, but it all depends on your emotional maturity and intellectual capacity. And I think if you dumb your audience down through the education systems or through crap on TV and film, you're removing that critical ability to not only criticize and use critical ability on yourself in your own life, but in cultural events like comedy shows and things like that, you're limiting your palate. It's like you've gone from 4K to, like, you know, standard definition at that point.
Okay, well, let's see. With coming up on 1 p.m. here, almost 6 your time, and we get Blake's coming up, I think. At 7 p.m. We wanted to have Melina here, but she's got some stuff going on, and hopefully in the next go around that she'll be able to be here with us.
Yeah, we'll have to work out a time when she's free, but I'll speak to her. Yeah,
but yeah, we'll work it out schedule wise. But this was fun. Thanks for being here, Lee.
Pleasure.
We'll give you a little break in between now and
Go get some food.
the next. Let's call it here. We'll see you. Please stop by in about another hour for the Blake's watch along, where I guess Lee will be back again, and maybe somebody else. I don't know.
We'll see.
All right. Take care.
Bye.